Hi, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to show you the basics of foundation paper piecing. This is a sewing technique that allows you to create extremely precise quilt tops like this peacock. To do this project, you will need a self-healing cutting mat, a rotary cutter, an add-a-quarter ruler, flathead pins, a seam press, and a straight edge for folding. We are going to attach the fabric to the back of the pattern piece. So when you look at it up to the light, you can see that the number 1, which is the first one we're going to do, is right here, and the lines of it are right here. I'm going to put this fabric on, making sure that I leave at least a 1/4 inch all the way around for my seam allowance. So I'm happy with where I've placed it. So I'm going to use my flat pins and pin it right to the fabric. And now I'm going to look at it this way so I can really see there's my line, and my fabric is way out here, so I know I have plenty of space to trim off that seam allowance. So we're starting in the line in between 1 and 2, placing our folding edge on the line, folding the paper back. Are you kidding me? Oh, make sure the fabric's there. Now we're going to add a 1/4 to create a seam allowance. So the 1/4 inch is right there. We will cut pinned to the back of the pattern, and I'm going from number 1 to number 2, and I'm focusing on the line in between the two of them. So I have my fabric down here. I'm going right sides together, lining up the edge of the 2 pieces of fabric, opening this back up, and putting in a pin to keep everything together. The setting that you want to use for this is a straight stitch. So on my machine, that's number 1. My stitch length automatically is 2.2, but I want to move it to smaller stitching. My favorite setting is if it's 1.4. That makes it easy to tear the paper off when we're done. I'm going to start about 3 stitches before my line, so as close to this line as I possibly can, and then let it go 3 stitches off the line. So putting the presser foot down. Instead of using a pedal, I decided to use my start and stop button. Just sewed right here. The fabric is sewn onto the paper. So I'm going to take the pin out, turn it over, it's all together. Flatten out my seam. Going through the segments in order, repeat until all pieces are complete. Trim the edges of the paper and fabric, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is gray on this pattern. This way you can sew pieces to each other. The front looks great, now we have to take care of the back. This is the fun part. Just pull these pieces of paper right off. When you use really small stitch length, it perforates the paper thoroughly, so it doesn't put a lot of stress on the stitches or the fabric when you start yanking the paper off, and it comes off really nice and clean. Sometimes you might need to use a pair of tweezers to get all the little tiny pieces out, but ta-da!